The Rams have been beyond busy this offseason, bringing in Davante Adams and Poona Ford. We're going to talk details on why they brought these two guys in and what the Rams are truly shooting for this season. We're also going to talk about a huge number change for Puka Nacua, why he is changing to his new number, all on today's episode of the Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Giron. Remember, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, press that subscribe button now, as 68.9% of you guys are watching the videos, but you're still not subscribed to the channel. Do me a favor, press that subscribe button now so you don't miss any daily Rams content here at the Rams Digest. We are incredibly excited to be kicking off our March Madness bracket here for the channel. We're going to be partnering up with the Hot Takes app and other digest channels for this event. It's completely free to sign up. All you got to do is download the Hot Takes app, go ahead and click over the March Madness banner at the top, and under group, select the Digest Media Pool. This is extremely exciting, guys. We're talking about over $25,000 in prizes to be won, and since there's a much smaller pool of people participating, there's a real chance of winning big compared to other bracket challenges out there. Check out the link below or scan the QR code to download the app, and make sure to use the promo code DIGEST in all caps. Again, that's DIGEST in all caps to get exclusive perks when signing up. It's completely free, a serious chance to win. So do me a favor, if you guys have any questions at all, go ahead and hit the email down below. Other than that, thank you to Hot Takes for this opportunity, and I hope to see you all there in the March Madness pool. First things first, I do want to say shout out to Lucci for covering the huge Poona Ford signing yesterday. I know we talked about it a little bit on the channel, but I did want to kind of discuss Davante Adams, Poona Ford. Like, why are the Rams bringing these two guys in? As that's not the one I wanted to show. Why are the Rams bringing these two guys in? What is the truth behind signing these two guys? And the reality is, it is kind of a little bit obvious, right? The Rams are trying to push for a Super Bowl. We talked about this a little bit all offseason, right? Right when the season ended, a lot of fans felt after beating the Philadelphia Eagles, losing to the Philadelphia Eagles, almost beating the Philadelphia Eagles in that snow game, and giving the Eagles their biggest challenge last season, the Super Bowl winning champs, their biggest challenge. The Rams feel they can contend right now, right? Even though they're going to move on from a guy like Cooper Kupp, they're ready to contend now. The Rams sold Davante Adams specifically on their vision. The Rams are going for the Super Bowl. There's no way Adams signs on if the Rams are not contending for a title. He could have made more money elsewhere. However, there needs to be a vision for Adams' role and responsibilities. Many receiver free agents are wary of joining the Rams because of Matthew Stafford. Now, this is no way of indicating that the wide receivers have a problem with him, as he is regarded as a premier quarterback, but it's more about ball distribution to the receiver too. Allen Robinson serves as a cautionary tale. So whatever the Rams pitch from him from a schematic standpoint, Adams has bought into it, which means the ball is coming his way. And I do think that is kind of a key point, right? Why would the Rams go out and sign Davante Adams? You have Puka Nacua. You need more of a receiver 2 option, right? Or someone who can complement Puka. Well, I think Davante Adams actually complements Puka Nacua very, very well, as again, Puka Nacua is that quick slant route, out route, kind of guy. Obviously, he can do amazing work down the field as well. Don't get me wrong. Puka Nacua is an incredible receiver all around, but specifically, he is that kind of short yardage receiver that's great route running ability, obviously incredible all around, but Davante Adams does complement that well, as you're looking for a guy, a deep shot guy, a guy who can, again, you can throw the ball up, 50-50 ball type of receiver. Davante Adams is still that guy, even at the age that he is at right now. And so I think they do complement one another well, and Davante Adams wouldn't sign on to be a receiver 2. I'm not saying Puka Nacua or whoever is a receiver 1-2. I think they're going to kind of flip-flop all season long, but the reality is, whatever they told Davante Adams, clearly he was not coming to sign with the Rams to say, I'm a secondary option. I'm just going to help out when I can. No, I think he wants the ball. He's going to be fed the ball here in Los Angeles, and I think he thinks it's a good opportunity for him to open up his opportunities next to Puka Nacua, as obviously attention goes Puka's way. More opportunities open up for Davante Adams and vice versa. So overall, I think that is kind of the key here. And in terms of why they're bringing in both of these guys, I mean, the reality is, in terms about Poona Ford, and we'll talk about Poona Ford in a second, but the reality is the Rams are trying to win a Super Bowl now. And that's very, very obvious, especially after signing a guy like Poona Ford. But we can talk specifically about Davante Adams for a second, as here's something that's pretty cool, I think, for those who may have missed it. Ian Rappaport said his agent, Frank Bauer, who represents Davante Adams on Adams landing with the Rams, he said he is where he wanted to finish out his great career. And that's also kind of an endearing kind of thing to Los Angeles, to the Rams organization. Davante Adams is choosing the Los Angeles Rams to finish his career. It's just kind of a legendary, possibly Hall of Fame receiver coming to LA saying, I want to retire here in LA. Very, very intriguing, very awesome, I think, for Davante Adams, and to have that perspective, and also for his agent to kind of say, I think this is kind of where he's going to finish his incredible, legendary career. So shout out to Davante Adams for joining on. And again, hopefully the Rams can try to compete for the Super Bowl. Clearly, they're kind of going as much as all in as you can really go, right? Davante Adams, then you bring in a guy like this beast here. And what have I been saying all off season long, right? A shout out to Lucci for breaking this yesterday, but what have I been saying? I've been saying we need, just like London Tipton. Shout out to Brenda Song, if you guys don't know who that is. One of my childhood crushes. I'll be honest with you, one of my childhood crushes, but also just an incredible actor when I was a kid. Brenda Song, for those who don't know, she came out showing how much ball she knows. She's a big Los Angeles sports fan, a big Laker fan, big Rams fan. She was breaking down, what do the Rams need? She's talking to Les Snead. What do you need? You need a big guy. You need a defensive tackle, just like I was saying. You need a big guy. You need a big D tackle. The Rams have got their big boy D tackle in Poona Ford. Now, I know I've seen some comments on yesterday's video. Lucci was saying how we're going to rush the passer, and some people were in the comments were like, well, he's more of a run stopper. I'm telling you guys right now, Lucci was not wrong. Poona Ford, he is here to stuff the run. He's a big body, going to stuff the run for the next couple of seasons at least. But he also can get to the quarterback. Every time I watched the Chargers game last season, I also actually worked at the stadium a little bit with the Chargers last year, so I watched quite a few Chargers games. Every time I looked up, Poona Ford was in the backfield. He was putting pressure on the quarterback. He is a guy who, yes, he is there to stuff the run, but if that quarterback drops back to pass, his work is not finished. Poona Ford will be hungry. His motor still goes and goes and goes, and he will chase after that quarterback as fast as he possibly can. Shout out to this. I mean, I'm just super excited about this signing. I said, what is the key for the Rams here? Bringing in a guy like Poona Ford. And we're talking about his contract, by the way. It's essentially like a 2-year deal worth $16 million when you really break it down. But technically speaking, it is a 3-year, nearly $30 million contract. Very, very solid contract for an interior nose tackle. But overall, again, you're talking about a guy who's going to beef up that line. What did I say? I've been saying this, right, all offseason. Les Snead, he's been watching the videos. I said, we need a big boy D tackle in the middle. We need a run stuffer in the middle. We need someone who's going to be actually literally physically heftier than some of the guys we have. No offense to Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, and Kobe Turner. All those guys are great, Byron Young, but they are a little bit on the thinner side. We need a big body in the middle, and that is exactly who the Rams got. And I'll be honest with you, I kind of didn't even notice that Poona Ford was a free agent. If I would have known that sooner, I would have been announcing to the world, screaming at the top of the mountain that we should have got Poona Ford. He would have been my number one option at the D tackle position, and honestly, I would have thought he was a little bit far-fetched for the Rams to go out and get. Instead, the Rams do go out and get him. Shout out to the Rams. Shout out to Les Snead for picking up Poona Ford on a pretty solid contract as well. The Rams are going all in as they possibly can. The next move for me is getting a linebacker. A lot of Rams fans were saying next step, maybe taking a guy like Dre Greenlaw from San Francisco. He's going to Denver. But overall, the Rams need to be in the market for a lineman like that, or just a linebacker, defensive linebacker like that. Someone who can help stuff the run for them. If it's not in the free agency market, then you got to look in the draft. But overall, the Rams are getting slimmer and slimmer in terms of how many holes they have on this team on the offense and defensive side of the ball. It's really just linebacker. Another cornerback would be nice, of course. Of course, DB is always important. But overall, right now, this Rams defense and offense are both looking very, very talented and very scary overall. Moving on from that, we can talk about 17-12. Sorry for all you Puka Nacua fans who have already bought your Puka Nacua jersey. I'm actually just kind of rubbing it in a little bit because I have not bought my Puka Nacua jersey yet. I do have a couple Aaron Donald jerseys, but I do want to get a Puka jersey because obviously I'll be honest, he's probably my favorite Ram right now, and I do want one. And this, honestly, as if he needed another reason why to make me a big Puka Nacua fan. My favorite number is number 12. I played basketball number 12 in high school. Number 12 was my favorite number. Puka Nacua is changing his number to number 12. The number 12 holds special meaning to Puka Nacua and his family. He wore it in his little league years through college. It's his first memories of his siblings playing sports, whether it was watching his sister wear it while playing basketball or being the ball boy and watching his brother wear it while playing quarterback in football. Accordingly, the Rams wide receiver is keeping the tradition and will switch the number 17 to number 12 ahead of the 2025 season. Shout out to Stu Jackson for this quick report here. And, shout out to Puka Nacua. Wearing number 12, my favorite number. He's my favorite Ram. I can't wait to get that jersey ASAP. Want to get that Puka Nacua jersey in as soon as possible. But overall, specifically, this is very intriguing and obviously most likely, I think, of course, an awesome reason when it comes down to his family. But I think, of course, a little bit of a nice nod to Davante Adams, as Davante Adams will likely probably take over that number 17 next season. I'm assuming. I don't want to, nothing official yet, but I'm assuming that Puka Nacua isn't giving up 17 just because he wants to go back to his family number. It has a little bit to do with what Davante Adams is doing out, or the Rams doing out by signing Davante Adams. And then, speaking on Puka Nacua, still talking about the Davante Adams signing as well. Shout out to the Rams for, again, we talked about them being rocky in terms of handling the Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford scenario. Well, they flipped that really quick and started to show their class here, as this is what Puka Nacua had to say about the Davante Adams signing. He said, shoot, Coach McVay called me on Saturday. He called me on Saturday night. I was at a teammate's wedding in Virginia. We got there. We had just finished their first dance. I filled my phone buzz. You're not supposed to have them. I haven't been to too many weddings, and I'm still new to this. To all this, they were like, don't bring your phones. I was like, I've got a suit jacket for a reason. He continued, my phone was buzzing. So I pull it out. It says Sean McVay. I was like, oh, yep, let me answer this. Automatic, no hesitation. I just turned around and was like, yo, what's up, coach? He was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm at Kobe's wedding right now. He's like, oh, all right. Just wanted to call you and see what you thought if we get Davante Adams. I was like, word, for real? He was like, we're in some negotiations, but wanted to call you first. I was like, appreciate you, coach. Let's do it, bro. Hell yeah, let's do it. Let's ride. He was like, it's not confirmed yet, but just wanted to call you and see what you thought about it. So shout out to Sean McVay. Sorry, I went to that whole thing, by the way. Like if I was Puka Nacua. But, shout out to Coach McVay. Shout out to the Rams for allowing him to handle this situation as such. Puka Nacua, he's your face of the franchise. To an extent, right at this point. He is your superstar. He is your young star moving forward for the future of the Rams. He's already done enough work on the field to prove to you that he can be that guy. And so the Rams treating him like a superstar, saying, what do you feel about us getting a new receiver next to you? Yes, Puka Nacua is Puka Nacua. He's our number one option. Most likely, he's still in his prime. Davante Adams on the way out of his prime, but still, Davante Adams is a great player. Puka, how do you feel about bringing in a guy at your position who may honestly challenge you in terms of targets, who may challenge you in terms of your own opportunity on the field? Puka does no hesitation, says, hell yeah, let's do it. Let's get to work. I'm also going to change my jersey number for this guy. Shout out to Puka Nacua. He's just a genuine, he almost feels like a Rams fan that got drafted by the Rams, and just kind of that's how Rams fans would kind of react if you were in his position, right, as a player. So shout out to Puka Nacua for handling that situation the way it was. Again, shout out to Rams for reaching out to him from the jump. I think it's a very classy move from Sean McVay and the organization to let him know ahead of time before the signing was made more official. Moving on from that, we can talk about the trivia of the day before we get on out of here. For those who have never played trivia of the day, I like to do these trivia of the day on my episodes that I'm on, the Rams Digest. And I do want to give a quick shout out to one person here, Floyd. I apologize for cutting out your answer a couple episodes ago. That was not on purpose, but I think I got you in this episode for your guess on this trivia question. For those who missed it, though, the trivia of the day last episode was this question here. It was, which of the following running backs holds the Super Bowl single game record for rushing attempts with 38? The multiple choice options were Terrell Davis, John Riggins, Franco Harris, and Emmitt Smith. That was a question posed last episode. Shout out to these few folks right here who actually gave their guesses in the comments of the last episode. P4P Boxing says Terrell Davis. Annette Mendoza says Emmitt Smith. Floyd says Emmitt Smith, ? Floyd, I always appreciate the question mark, showing that you're just guessing and trying to do this without Googling. I appreciate you. And then Brian B says John Riggins with a smiley face emoji. Shout out to all of you guys for guessing. Again, if you want to get a shout out just like this, even if you get it right, even if you get it wrong, regardless, we'll give you a shout out on next episode. You can play along with the next trivia guess. But the answer of this trivia question was John Riggins. So shout out to Brian B, the only one I believe who got this answer correctly. Shout out to everybody on here for guessing, though. I appreciate you guys playing along with the trivia of the day. Again, you want to get shouted out, just play along, hit the comments with your trivia answer for this trivia question of the day. Here is a trivia question of the day for today. What NFL franchise hired the first Hispanic and African American head coaches in the history of the league? Trivia of the day number 24. I'll let you guys ponder that question for a second. Get to the comment section, start thinking about your answers. You want to guess a team now? Go ahead and guess a team now. I'll give you a multiple choice options, though. Was it A, the Steelers? Was it B, the Rams? Was it C, the Raiders? Or was it D, the Jets? What NFL franchise hired the first Hispanic and African American head coaches in the NFL league, or the history of the league? Was it the A, Steelers, B, Rams, C, Raiders, or D, Jets? That's going to do it for me on today's episode of the Rams Digest. You want that shout out on the next episode? Just hit the comments with your trivia guess. I'll shout you out on the next episode, whether you get it right, whether you get it wrong. Don't Google it. Play fairly. That's going to do it for me on today's episode of the Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Giron, and I'm out.